For some of us, our challenge is not going to break unless we link up with somebody, because we're used to operating in unhealthy independence.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So the way to get in, the way to release is sometimes not just going to God in prayer, but finding somebody to partner with immediately.
Wow.
So we can, you know what I'm saying? So God can check us in the area of not feeling like we have to do everything by ourselves. Okay? On the flip side, for those of us who are giving counsel and giving godly advice, you got to discern when a person just wants, and I said this before, when a person just wants attention versus a person that wants help. For many of us, we are only infatuated with the idea of healing. You get what I'm saying? We hear it, but we don't want to always put in the sacrifice that's necessary. You know what I'm saying? And you will overwork yourself trying to want more for people than they want for themselves, and you have to let them want for themselves. Okay? So I hope that helps a little bit. But for some of us who are strong, we need to go ahead and link up with somebody. For those of us who are used to going to 15 people and not walking nothing out by ourselves, we may need to go with God first. Because some of us make people our idol, and we go to people before we go to God. So it's an opposite extreme here. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's an opposite extreme. Great questions, guys. Yes, sir.
If after you talk to somebody about something, and when they give you a solution and you get upset, that means you weren't ready.
Wow.
That's from my personal thing. I went to somebody and they was like, I don't want to hear that if you ain't gonna do nothing about it. Oh. And I found myself like, well, shoot, doggone it. Then I realized, I ain't really want no help. I just want to listen. So it was on me. So yeah. So I guess how you receive it determines your readiness.
That's good.
If you were ready. That makes sense.
That's good. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about number 3. You said one of the reasons we entertain cycles is because we find power in being a victim. So my question is, I feel like the victim mentality can come in different types of forms, but is the root to the victimized mentality insecurity?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And being attracted to a victimized mentality is I come to you and I come to you and I express my issues, but then I don't receive what you say, so I go back.
Wow.
I go back to that lifestyle. And then I get towed up again by the devil, so I come back to you, because I know you know God. I come back to you and I tell you my issues again. But then you give me the truth and I just don't want to hear it, so I go back. You know what I'm saying? And that's the repeated victimized mentality, is that I feel like because I gave you my issues that I earned your attention. And earning your attention is the attention, you know what I'm saying? Like earning your time and you listening to me tell you about what I'm dealing with, that's where my value comes from. You know what I'm saying? If we would just pay attention to what the Lord was saying the first time, we wouldn't have to repeat the cycle. But insecurity is the root to a victimized mentality, because we don't feel like we can have healthy attention. We feel like we can always just express our issues with no intent to change. Insecurity is another lesson. That's a whole nother lesson. When our value is wrapped up in everything else other than who the Lord says we are, how much money in the bank, who's looking at us, how many followers on Facebook, all these different things. Well, she didn't like my picture, but she liked theirs. Just all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Insecurity is another lesson. Anything else, guys? This is good. Yes, sir. Somebody got a mic?
Yeah, and just to go along with about being a victim, it seems like now, or like I sense that everybody feels like they're a victim in some way, shape, form, or fashion, right?
Right.
Like, even the world or the government gives us reasons to be a victim.
Right.
You know, it just puts it out there, you know, for, okay, I'm black, I'm a victim, I'm a woman, I'm a victim, or just, you know, I'm a victim for many different reasons. And so, like, I was kind of thinking, is this kind of a way to do it, to keep power over people, and in a sense to keep us divided? Because as long as we're divided, we can't link together like it was said, because we're only so strong by ourselves. But there are power in numbers, you know what I'm saying? And once we, kind of like once we stop being that victim and realize who we are and whose image we are made in, then, you know, kind of that whole, like whole bit of mentality would change, kind of like they said earlier about being at work. You know, I mean, work might be jacked up, but you are there for a reason or a purpose. If it's jacked up, show them, you know, why you are not and why they should be, and why they should stop being a victim. Because I find that some of the highest paid people at work are some of the most miserable. And I'm like, how? you make twice what I make. Why are you complaining? You can have the work I do. Why are you complaining about your job? You know, it might not be a question now. I'm sorry, but it was just.
I love it. Anything else? Huh? You got something?
And it's about being on the receiving end of victimized people. Now, I'm a firm believer of not allowing people to waste my time. And it's easily for people's burdens for you to take them on and be drained by them. So, I'm one of the people that if you come to me with something, I'm going to tell you first and foremost, if I give you godly counsel and you don't receive it, don't come back to me talking about the same thing. And I'm wondering, is that not instilling grace? Is that not instilling mercy? Because if you come to me about the same thing every time, I'm enabling you to stay in the cycle. I'm helping you stay. Because I keep talking to you about the same thing, allowing you to do the same thing over and over again. So is that wrong for me to have that perspective?
I think we can change our method a bit. I know what you're saying because I believe the same thing. Change our method up a bit, and when a person comes to us, ask them, what is your expectation? Challenge them. What is your expectation? Because it puts the ball in their court and it helps them think about something that they may not even thought about before they came to us. It puts the responsibility in their court.
Wow.
And it helps them to see and think things through. Well, have I counted the cost before I talk to you? You feel what I'm saying? And even though, you know what I'm saying, when you said, wasting time, and that's what we're doing. Literally, we're wasting time when we continue to repeat the same stuff and talk about the same stuff with no intent to change. So when we ask questions up front to the person that's doing the venting or the releasing, then it helps to see where they are and it sees if we need to entertain it any further. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Is there a way to maybe empower victimized people who make what would be your best way to help somebody?
The best way, I believe, to help anybody, the reason why we feel victimized is because we don't feel loved. There's a lie that says we don't feel loved. And we take what people do to us, let me say it like this. When we're so victimized and so hurt, everybody's against us.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying? Everybody's wronged us. Everybody is against me. When I walk in the room, everybody's talking about me. And they ain't stunned about me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in a way to empower people who struggle with being a victim is to show them the love of God and to teach them that they are valuable, that you are loved by God, that I think you mentioned this, that you are not your mistakes, you are not your circumstances. These are things that happen to you, yes. But you don't have to be you don't have to wallow in them, you don't have to become them. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe the best way to do it is being a victimized mentality is an antagonist against the love of God. And victim is fear.
Wow.
It's really what it all boils down to. And there's no fear in love, for perfect love casts out all fear.
Gotcha.
So showing people that they're loved by God, that's a good way to start.
Gotcha. That's good.
Anything else, guys? This is good. Thank y'all for staying.
The question I want to know is, have we found a false sense of security in our insecurity?
Yes. Ooh, Miss Vivian. Yes, ma'am. We don't see ourselves, a lot of us struggle with seeing ourselves past now. That's the difference between sight versus vision. Sight only sees now, it's circumstantial. Vision is past now. You know what I'm saying? And so yes, we found security, we found comfort, and we have built a house where we are only supposed to pitch a tent.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Built the house.
Great question.
Pitch a tent.
Anything else? No? Thank you guys so much for staying. I pray that the lesson was understandable and that you got something